There was a time where the Zoras looked completely different, which changed everything we know about them. This was back in the day when they became the RITO. However, how did this new group evolve in terms of story, gameplay, use, and design? Well, let's find out. The Zora had been seen in a ton of Zelda games for years, even in the well-known Zelda Ocarina of Time. But then, all of a sudden in the GameCube era, Nintendo changed things. Because in the Wind Waker, they had evolved over the span of a century into a new being called the RITO. All of this happened because of the Great Flood, an event where the gods turned the world into an ocean to stop Ganondorf's forces. And the waters of the Great Sea could only be inhabited by monsters and fishmen. The reason why is unknown, but I have a video on this, so be sure to check that out. The link will be in the upper right corner. After this, they moved from the well-known Zora's Domain to something quite different. Dragon Roost Island, which clearly has the best music in the game. They made their home in a small cavern to the side of the island mountain, so it's kind of similar to Zora's Domain in that way. Due to their wings enabling them to fly over the Great Sea with ease, they mainly work as post carriers. They also have come into contact with a powerful spirit named Valoo, who roosts on top of the island. And thanks to that, a RITO who reaches adulthood will receive their wings by traveling to Valoo to get a scale. You first encounter one on your home island named Outset Island, around the time when the Helmarok King came around the corner. Link later on learns that the RITO are having a crisis. Valoo has become violent and restless, so that means no scales. And besides that, you also need to make the son of the chieftain happy. Here you meet Medli, who helps you through the dungeon, and you even get the main item from her. And as expected, eventually Link saves the day. Later during his quest, Link needs to find a successor for the Earth Sage Laruto, which is Medli after playing the Earth God's lyric, which awakens her. Together they travel to the Earth Temple where Link defeats the evil there, allowing Medli to pray so the Master Sword can regain some of its power. Now, as you could have noticed, they were seen a lot in the world and story of the game. I even left out some minor things here and there. Clearly Nintendo wanted to go full in with this new race and really give them a big role in the entire game. They're seen at minigames which are air-themed, you interact with them a lot throughout the game, the whole post thing is a small element in the game, and you even get to play as Medli in the Earth Temple. So we get an extremely diverse range of places and things we see them in, and the fact that you can use Medli in the dungeon is also really cool. It makes the puzzles a lot better, and controlling her can be a lot of fun as well. Sure, it's a bit tedious at times, but it's still quite fun. So really, this transformation from the well-known sea creature Zora to these new flying creatures was an extremely cool move. They completely became their own thing, fitting in the new type of world that's extremely different from the previous two where the Zoras were seen. It's a really smooth transition that works out better than most would think, and rewards us with some very cool things in the game. So this was a solid introduction to this brand new form. However, they weren't seen much after this, weirdly enough. Nintendo put a lot of effort and lore into this group, but they were absent from the later games, which I don't really get. Why would you build it up and then drop it on the floor? It's a bit of a shame in my opinion. Luckily enough, they eventually returned on the Nintendo Switch launch title Zelda Breath of the Wild in full glory. Their main population center at Rito Village is in Tabanta Frontier, and this time it's unknown if they are descendants of the Zora. This time they live on the side of a pillar-like mountain, and it feels a lot more bird-like since they remind me a lot of birds' nests. So they are more distinguishable compared to the Zoras thanks to this. They're a whole different thing now, even in living style. They are also depicted as having a far more bird-like appearance compared to the ones seen in the Wind Waker. Now, one of the characters with the biggest role is Wily, the RITO champion and a skilled aerial fighter living in the skies of Hyrule, and is the first RITO shown in the game. He was selected by the King of Hyrule to pilot their own divine beast as a member of the champions, which is a part of the main quest. So yet again, they get a bigger role and are even seen throughout the entire world doing whatever. It's open world after all. However, this time there were two clear differences. There was no specific reason why they're around. The Zoras are even seen in this game, and they're more like birds now. They don't even need Valoo. This makes them so different compared to the ones originally seen in the Wind Waker that it might as well be a complete reboot of them. So much has changed, and in my opinion the stuff that replaced it was even better. Their home looks amazing, and their flying skills are impressive. You even get one of their special powers that only Revali could perform, called Revali's Gale. Link can call upon the power to summon a temporary updraft, and he may do so 3 times before the spell goes on a 6-minute cooldown. This is incredibly handy and useful as well. Any obstacle can be defeated with this, and it's a lot of fun to use, of course. However, I haven't even mentioned one of the most important and memorable RITO characters seen in the game. Cass, a wandering minstrel who will play the accordion and sing an ancient verse to Link, telling him the location of several shrines throughout Hyrule. He's the student of Ashika, who was the court poet of the royal family of Hyrule before the Great Calamity, and is now traveling the land to fulfill a promise he made to his teacher. However, he was forced to leave his wife and children in RITO village, and longs to fulfill his promise in order to return to them. This character is amazing, and anyone who has ever touched Breath of the Wild will know who he is. A thing that helps with this is his charm. His poetic nature really helps. It makes it all more interesting to learn about, and especially since you will find the shrines because of it. The prize is amazing, a new place to explore and get loot from, and the challenge is this weird riddle that you need to solve. It's a fun mechanic but can be difficult at times, however that's part of the experience. So really the RITO got better in every way possible compared to the ones seen previously. Sure, we can't control one in this game, but at least we can use a special power of them. They're at the height of their careers, so to speak. And we don't know if this will continue, since there was another gigantic gap before. So if they will appear in the future, is sadly enough uncertain. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Do you want to watch more videos? But of course you do. Click those lovely annotations and subscribe.